Hey, welcome back to Me Being Cheap. Today I want to talk about some wardrobe updates or upgrades for exercise clothes. So first of all, I ordered these probably more than a year ago off of the internet, and these are headbands and they stay in place. They're stretchy both directions. They don't slip and they're wide enough that you can pull them down over your ears if it's cold outside. But it also, if you've got long hair, you know that when you're sweaty and exercising, you don't want it like stuck all in your face. So it holds your hair back. It doubles as a sweatband. And then when it's cold, you can also cover your ears. So it is a nice piece of equipment to have, and I would almost consider this essential. And I've tried other headbands, and they tend to slip out while you're exercising. So you might be, lifting weights or running down the road, and you can just feel that headband just slip off, and then you have to go back and pick it up off the ground. These I bought off the internet, and they're made by Hippie Runner, and they're wonderful. Now the problem is that I like to wait till I have a full load of laundry, and over the year, I think a couple of these have somehow gotten lost. I really don't know how, but somehow I can't find them. And so I find that I'm having to do laundry a little bit more often just because of these headbands. And this is not something you want to wear more than once without washing because they get nasty. I mean, they get so sweaty that when you're done, if you take it off, I mean, it'll literally stand up by itself once it dries. So I'm not sure what type of material this is because it's a raw edge. I don't know if you can see that or not. And it doesn't fray, but yet it's stretchy this direction, stretchy that direction. So I had this pair of athletic shorts. It was one of my son's, and it was sewn with some incredibly cheap thread. And I'm not even sure, I can't remember where I got these from, but you can see, I don't know if that's showing up. I mean, they're just falling apart everywhere, and it's more that I would want to sew back. I mean, even the waistband is just falling apart. I guess they just used some of the cheapest thread possible, and the thread is disintegrating. So it felt stretchy, so I decided I was going to try and make some of these out of these shorts. And I don't know if you can also tell, it's really picked up, and it's got runners, and I don't know, this is just a very poor quality of shorts. I tried cutting this material and it frays, and once you get it cut, it is not that stretchy. So I have a pair of athletic shorts that are falling apart. They've got picks and runs in the material. I think these are destined for the trash bin, because I wouldn't even give these to Goodwill. I don't know if you guys have got any ideas. There is a lot of debate on plastic and plastic in your clothes and microfibers and all that getting into the ocean, and I do understand that, and I try to be respectful. So I try not to send things like this to landfill. But at this point, this isn't usable. If you've got any ideas, let me know. Now, along the lines of being respectful of the environment, a lot of people would say, well, just don't use the plastic clothes. But if you do a lot of exercising, to wear stuff like this t-shirt when you get really sweaty, it's just gross. It's gross, and it just sticks to you. And if it's cold, it just makes you colder. So I do like the synthetic exercise clothes. So what I try to do is pick them up secondhand, and then when I have them, try to make them last as long as possible. So I actually have 3 pair of one brand of long pants. So be the long ones that you wear when it's cold outside. And they slide down my waist whenever I move, whenever I bend. So I don't know, I mean, the elastic still feels good. I don't really feel that I've lost any weight. I don't know if my fat on my belly has redistributed, but I just cannot keep these pants up. and there is no drawstring. So what I'm going to do for these 3 pair of exercise pants, I am going to put some sort of drawstring in there so I can tie the pants around my waist and hopefully keep them up a little bit better than what the elastic is doing on its own. So if you saw my previous videos, I did an upgrade on socks and underwear, and I had this whole pile of underwear that used to be the old underwear for that time of the month. And so I wasn't sure what to do with that, because some of the underwear was kind of synthetic material, not cotton. It's like, I really don't want to throw all that in the landfill. So I kind of sat in a pile in my living room or in my bedroom, and I was like, oh, I know what I could do. So I took the waistband on some of this plastic or synthetic underwear, and I cut it off. So I have 2. And what I am going to do is cut each one of these, sew them together so I have a long strip, knot the ends, and then I'm going to, on the inside below the seam, I'm going to cut a slit here and a slit here, and I'm going to thread it around, and that will give me a drawstring. So using scissors, you're just going to cut the waistband, the elastic waistband, off of a pair of underwear. Or if you've got something else like some cording or something like that, or a drawstring out of an old hoodie, that would work too. But I don't have that, so we're going to use the waistband and the old underwear. I'm going to cut that, cut the other one. And then we're just going to sew the strips together. This will give you, I don't know if you can see, that'll be long enough to thread through the pants and then give you enough to tie. And we're just going to hand stitch this. We'll pause that while I get this needle threaded. Okay, I just have my regular needle and thread ready. And honestly, it doesn't matter the color of thread that you use, so just use what you have on hand. Do not make a special trip to the store to get new thread. It doesn't matter because it's going to be inside the pants. And I know some of you might be watching this and thinking, oh my goodness, this is really kind of crazy to do this. But these pants are currently not usable. I've tried them a couple times. I've tried each pair. And I don't know if you remember that old Saturday Night Live skit, you know, the guy's like in a van down by the river, and he's really fat, and he keeps like pulling his pants up. That's what I'm constantly doing, and that is just aggravating because you can't get your workout done. Honestly, it should not matter what you wear when you go to the gym, or even if you're just exercising out in public. So this really doesn't matter because it's not going to show. But if you are going to a gym where something like this would truly matter, I'd encourage you to find a new gym, or maybe just exercise on your own. I'm lucky. The gym I go to, we don't care. We just want you there. We just want you there, and we just want you to exercise. That's all we care about. It's not a fashion show. I have been to some places where it's a fashion show. So if you go to one of those gyms where you have to have the latest workout outfit with the brand name, I would just not go, or say, who cares? Just wear whatever you want. So the purpose of going to the gym is to exercise and to get your body in better shape. You just need to be comfortable while you're doing that. So that is what I'm doing. I am attempting to get myself comfortable. Now, if I had to go out and buy new pants, these are the long pants. They fit tightly. They're the snug ones. The generic brand of these is typically about $30. I have found some that were a little bit cheaper, but I did find that they snagged and got holes in them pretty quickly. So that's kind of like wasted money, and then that's also, you know, sending trash to the environment. So it's better to pay money for something that is going to last a little bit longer. So I do have one pair of Reebok pants that I really like, and they stay in place and they don't have a drawstring. And this brand here is called RBX. I picked them up a couple years ago from TJ Maxx, and they fit just fine. I don't know if what has happened, like I said, I don't know if the elastic is getting slightly old, or if my fat has redistributed, or if I've actually lost weight. I don't think I've lost weight. But they are size medium, and I think if I had to purchase a pair of size small, I think they would be very uncomfortable, very, very tight. So we're just going to try this and see if this helps. Okay. So I know a lot of you are probably saying, well, I just don't have time for this. I don't have time to do this. It's just easier to go out and buy a new pair. Well, if you think about how long does it take you to drive to the store, go into the store, look around, maybe they have what you want, maybe they have your size, maybe they don't. Take them home, try them on. So I don't like to try on stuff at the store. But it's just easier. Think about how many of you sit in front of the TV. And this is something you could do just sitting in front of the TV. I'm just sitting here in front of the camera doing it. Just a little awkward. Anyway, so we've got that stitched up. There's my handiwork. All right. I have a pair of pants here. And let's see. This pair of pants is a little bit funny. It's got a little pocket here in the front. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. That must be for like keys or an iPod or something, but there's like a little pocket here. Anyway, I thought this is going to be on the inside of the pants, but I thought we'd do blue with blue. Maybe make it look like it was supposed to be that way. All right. I have an X-Acto knife. I did buy this new at Walmart, and I have used it on many projects such as this. And my sons use it for projects as well too. They like to make little airplane gliders out of old styrofoam and stuff, so these are handy to have. So what I'm going to do with that is here in the front of the pants and below the seam and below the commercial elastic, I am going to cut a slit here, cut a slit here. I'm going to be very careful that I don't cut through both layers of the material. So I'm going to actually pinch it apart like that. Actually, I might just try snipping it. Maybe easier with it pinched. And snip. Now, what I want to do is see how bad this is going to fray. Because if it's going to fray, yep, okay, so it's going to fray. So what I need to do, I don't know if you can see that, I need to sew around the edge to keep it from fraying. So I'll have to do that. Make that hole a little bit bigger. Okay. I'm going to pause this and thread a needle. Okay, so I have threaded my needle and I've gotten started on making the stitching around the hole so that the hole does not fray. I decided to go with a lighter color thread so that you could actually see. And so I'm actually going underneath the material, and then before I come back through, I actually loop it around this tail of the thread so that it actually makes a knot. And I'm going to stitch around the hole and finish it out so that the material doesn't fray. So I'm going to attempt to do this where you can see it. So again, being careful not to stitch on the opposite material. Slide the needle on the underside of the hole, pull it through, but before you pull it all the way tight, you're going to loop your needle underneath, and then pull it. And that's how that works. So I need to finish this. The grandmother that I used to live with, that would have been my ex's grandmother, she grew up during the Depression, and she said that actually they had to make their own underwear, and they couldn't get elastic. And she said they actually would use old inner tubes from tires. That's back before tires were, like the steel belted radials that, the tires we have today on the cars, they don't take inner tubes. But back then they did. And they would just cut up old inner tubes and use that for the elastic on their homemade underwear. I thought that was pretty ingenious. I tried to get her to write her stories down because she had some good ones on things that they did to save money. So not only was it during the Depression, but they were very, very poor. They usually worked on farms down in the South, but they were very, very poor. Very, very poor and lots of kids. So they were very efficient at making what little money they had last. Making their clothes last, making their own clothes. Okay, so this is what we have so far. I'm going to hit pause. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to sew up the one on the opposite side, and then I'll show you the next step. All right, welcome back. So I have sewed the holes up here so they don't become frayed. And I have the new drawstring, and I have threaded a safety pin on there to make it easier. We're just going to take the safety pin and start threading it through. Alright, I've got it threaded. I put knots in the end to keep these from fraying. And this is what it looks like on the inside. Again, none of this will be visible on the outside. And I will test this out and make sure this actually works before I invest the time on fixing the other two pair. But if this does work, I will have saved 3 pairs of pants from going to the landfill, as well as saved myself about $90. These pairs of pants are about $30 a piece for the generic. They're a little bit more expensive for the brand name. All right, thanks for watching.